You met someone for the first time. They smiled at you. They said nothing wrong. And yet, something inside you screamed, "Stay away." No logic, just pure rejection. That instant hatred felt irrational, unexplainable. But what if it was not random at all? What if that feeling was trying to tell you something important? Is this instinct protecting you from danger? Or is something darker happening inside your own mind? A shadow you refuse to face. A wound you forgot you carried. This is the psychology of hating someone for no reason. A journey into instinct, memory, and the hidden parts of yourself you have been avoiding your entire life. If you have ever felt this, you are not alone. Almost everyone experiences this strange, instant rejection of another human being. Science has studied it for decades. Research confirms that snap judgments happen in less than a tenth of a second. Before you even realize it, your brain has already decided, friend or threat. This is not a flaw in your character. It is ancient programming. A survival mechanism that kept your ancestors alive in a world full of predators and betrayal. This feeling has a name, and it has a purpose. But the question is, what exactly is your mind trying to protect you from? Them or yourself? Deep inside your brain sits an ancient structure called the amygdala. It is your personal alarm system, scanning every face, every voice, every movement for danger. Your ancestors survived because of this feeling. Those who ignored their gut instinct often did not live long enough to pass on their genes. You are their legacy. The amygdala detects micro-signals that your conscious mind completely misses. A smile where the eyes do not match the mouth. A voice tone that feels slightly wrong. Body language that feels off, but you cannot explain why. Your gut is processing millions of data points, while your conscious mind notices almost nothing at all. That instant dislike might be your unconscious recognizing a predator wearing a human mask. Sometimes hatred is not irrational. Sometimes it is protection in disguise. But here is where it gets uncomfortable. What if the person you hate has done nothing wrong at all? What if the real source of your hatred is you? The psychologist Carl Jung spoke of something called the shadow. The parts of yourself you have rejected, buried, refused to acknowledge, hidden in the darkness within. Jung believed that the traits we despise most in others are often the traits we cannot accept in ourselves. The mirror shows us what we refuse to see alone. You hate their arrogance because deep down you fear your own. You hate their neediness because you have spent your whole life suppressing yours in silence. You hate their success because it forces you to confront your own failures. Their light exposes your darkness, and that is unbearable to witness without flinching. The uncomfortable truth is this: what you hate in others often reveals what you are hiding from yourself. They become the mirror you desperately want to shatter. Every time you feel that irrational hatred rise, ask yourself this question: What part of me am I seeing in them? What part of me am I refusing to own? The shadow does not disappear when you ignore it. It grows stronger in the darkness, and it finds ways to show itself through the people who trigger you most. But there is another possibility, one that is even harder to admit. Sometimes hatred is not about shadows at all. Sometimes it is jealousy wearing a perfect mask. They have what you want, but cannot have. They are who you wish you could be. And instead of admitting envy, your brain disguises it as dislike, as judgment. Envy feels shameful. It exposes our insecurities, our failures, our deepest fears of inadequacy. So the mind protects us by transforming envy into hatred instead. Here are the signs it might be envy. You cannot stop thinking about them. Their success irritates you far more than it logically should. You obsess over their flaws. You look for reasons to justify your feelings. You celebrate secretly when they fail. You tell yourself they do not deserve what they have. But deep down, you know. The hatred is not about who they are. It is about what they represent. The life you wanted. The success you craved. The version of yourself you never became. Admitting envy is one of the hardest things a human can do. But until you name it, it will continue to poison every relationship with anyone who has more than you. Now we enter the deepest territory. The place where psychology meets trauma. Where the present becomes haunted by ghosts from the past you thought you had forgotten. The brain does not store trauma as simple memories. It stores trauma as patterns. Sounds, smells, gestures, tones of voice. Expressions that once meant danger or pain. A complete stranger can trigger wounds they know nothing about. The same laugh as someone who betrayed you. The same posture as someone who made you feel small. The same phrases as someone who abandoned you when you needed them most. Your nervous system does not know this is a different person. It only recognizes the pattern. You are not hating them. You are hating a ghost. Your past is borrowing their face. Your wounds are using them as a canvas for pain that was never resolved. This is why the hatred feels so intense, so disproportionate, because it is not new hatred at all. It is old hatred, finally finding somewhere to land after all these years. The body keeps the score, as trauma researcher Bessel van der Kolk wrote. And sometimes that score is settled on innocent people who simply reminded you of old pain. There is yet another layer to this mystery. Sometimes you hate someone not because they hurt you, but because they threaten who you think you are, your entire identity. Some people make you question your own beliefs just by existing. Their choices challenge your worldview. Their happiness contradicts everything you thought was true. Someone succeeds doing things the wrong way, and it works. Someone finds happiness without the things you sacrificed everything to obtain. And it feels deeply unfair. Someone breaks all the rules you followed your entire life and never suffers the consequences. Their existence makes your choices feel wrong. Your sacrifices feel pointless. You do not hate them for what they did to you. You hate them for what they represent. A truth you are not ready to accept. A possibility you are afraid to consider. But sometimes your gut is simply right. Sometimes that instant hatred is not projection or envy or trauma. Sometimes you are sensing a real predator in human form. Psychopaths and manipulators give off subtle signals that most people miss consciously. But the unconscious mind catches everything. The charm that feels too perfect. Eye contact that feels predatory instead of connecting. Attention that feels like targeting rather than genuine interest. Something in their presence that makes your skin crawl. Studies show that people can sense dark triad traits subconsciously. Narcissism, psychopathy, Machiavellianism. Your gut detects danger that your mind cannot yet name. Not every gut feeling is projection. Not every instant hatred is about you. Some warnings are real. Some people are genuinely dangerous. And your instinct knows it. So how do you know the difference? How do you separate instinct from projection? Protection from self-deception? The warning from the wound? The truth from the shadow? Ask yourself these questions honestly. Does this person remind me of someone from my past who hurt me? Do they have something I secretly want but cannot admit wanting? Do they represent a trait I reject in myself? Or do they genuinely behave in ways that are harmful, manipulative, or predatory? Be brutally honest with your answers. If you cannot answer clearly, the hatred is probably about you. If you can point to real behavior that crosses boundaries, trust your gut. It might be saving your life. The truth is this: hatred without reason is never truly without reason. There is always something beneath the surface, a message waiting to be decoded and understood. It is either your shadow screaming to be seen, your trauma echoing through time, your envy wearing a disguise, or your instinct screaming to keep you safe from harm. The question is not, why do I hate them? The real question is, what is this feeling trying to teach me? What door is this emotion asking me to open inside myself? Every person who triggers you is an invitation. An invitation to meet the parts of yourself you have been running from, the shadow you locked away long ago. Next time you hate someone for no reason, do not ignore it. Do not dismiss it as irrational. Investigate it. Sit with the discomfort. Ask what it wants you to know. The answer will reveal something about them, or something about yourself you have been avoiding your entire life. Either way, the truth is waiting to be discovered. Perhaps the people we hate the most are our greatest teachers. Mirrors held up to the parts of ourselves we refuse to acknowledge. Shadows demanding to be brought into light. Or perhaps they are warnings, sent by an ancient wisdom that flows through your blood, protections written into your DNA by ancestors who survived because they listened. The only way to know the difference is to turn inward. To stop looking at them and start looking at yourself. The answer has always been waiting inside you. If this journey into the psychology of hatred revealed something about yourself, share it with someone who needs to hear this truth. We all carry shadows we cannot name. Subscribe and stay with us as we continue to explore the hidden corners of the human mind. The places where darkness and light meet. Where truth waits to be discovered.